Hello friends, how are you? Welcome back to my channel. I am Monica Madhu, senior most biological faculty. So in the last video, I explained about cell, the basic unit of life, and next today we are going to see a new chapter that is all about microorganisms, tiny creatures which are not seen by the naked eye. Okay, so for your surprise, might be you have saw your mom to prepare idli in the next morning. What she will do, she prepare batter a day before, she put it overnight, and the next day morning she will prepare a delicious and tasty idli, right? So not only that, you can take another example of curd. Might be you are surprised that your mom, if you want to eat curd, what your mom will do, she will prepare curd in the night, and whereas in the morning she will serve you the tasty and sweety curd. Now tell me, if you want to eat it, if you want to eat curd now, can we prepare curd within 5 minutes or 10 minutes? No, we can't. If you want to eat idli, delicious idli, spongy idli, can you make it within a half an hour? No, we can't. So it needs some procedure, it needs some process, and that process is called as fermentation, and to make this process we need some microorganisms are involved, right? So those are the microorganisms which helpful to knead a material. To knead is nothing but to ferment a material, right? So in this chapter we are going to see such kind of useful and harmful microorganisms which plays a crucial role in our life, right? So first let us see microorganisms. Microorganisms are the living creatures which are not seen with the naked eye. Yes, we cannot see a microorganism with a naked eye. A reason behind that is, once if you observe here microorganism, micro, right, it is micro. Children, once if you observe, we have two words in science, that is macro and the second one is micro. Macro is nothing but big in size, whereas micro is nothing but tiny, which is not seen by naked eye. What is the meaning of naked eye? A normal eye which we have, it is called as naked eye. If we are able to see any organism, any creature with this normal eye, it is called as naked eye. It is called as naked eye. Okay. So whereas plant, animals, we can see them with the naked eye. So those plant and animals are included under macroorganisms. What it is? Macroorganism. But whereas in the case of bacteria, fungi, algae, virus, few protozoans, microarthropods, these are not seen with the naked eye. So we need a special instrument to observe them, right? So that is called microscope. Okay. So this is about a microorganism. Microorganism is nothing but these are the organisms, these are living organisms, but they are not seen with the naked eye. The organisms which are very tiny in size but not seen with the naked eye are called as microorganisms, and these microorganisms are classified into many groups. Okay. So before that, let us see some introductory part about microorganisms. The study of microorganisms is called microbiology, right? So microbiology, here itself the word is biology is nothing but already we have learned that study of life. Which life? About tiny living organisms. Okay, the organism which containing life, but they are very small in size. So about those organisms, about such tiny organisms, we are going to learn in a study called microbiology, right? So study of microorganisms is called as microbiology. Next, who is the father of microbiology? The father of microbiology is Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. When I am explaining about cell, the basic unit of life, already I gave a code: bypass surgery, RBC and water, right? So why I have given that code? To remember the organisms which was first observed, which was first identified by Anthony van Leeuwenhoek. right? So here if you see, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek is the father of microbiology. Reason, he observed tiny living creatures, tiny living moving creatures, in a drop of water. So he is a person who first identified or observed living organisms, tiny living organisms. So he is considered as father of microbiology, right? So father of microbiology is Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, right? So not only this, you can remember that father of modern microbiology, father of, let me write here, father of modern microbiology is Louis Pasteur. Who it is? Louis Pasteur. Okay, father of microbiology is Anthony van Leeuwenhoek, whereas father of modern microbiology is Louis Pasteur. Okay, don't forget these two names. Next, to observe microorganism we need an instrument and it is called as microscope, right? So here we have to use a special instrument, as these organisms are tiny, which are not seen with the naked eye. What we have to do, we have to use an instrument to observe these organisms, and it is called as microscope. We have many types of microscope like light microscope, compound microscope, electron microscope. I will explain about each and every microscope in the further classes. Next, Anthony van Leeuwenhoek discovered small moving organisms in 1678. Don't forget these dates. 1678, and called them as animalcules. Right. So when he was first observed the living creature in a drop of water, he called those living creatures as animalcule. As those are living organisms, they are moving here and there. So that's the reason he used a word animalcules. But later these animalcules are named as bacteria. Okay, so bacteria comes under microorganism. So Anthony van Leeuwenhoek considered as a father of microbiology. Okay, next. So the activities which are given in the textbook, in our textbooks there are some activities which are included to observe different microorganisms, right? If you take an example of curd activity or curd experiment. So curd experiment is used to observe bacteria. Next, curd contain bacteria. So to observe bacteria we have to perform an activity called curd experiment. Next to that is bread mold. So when you take a bread, if it is rotten, so you will find a black color dots or black color patches on it. So that is because of fungi. Next, pond water. If you take any pond water, the greenish scrapings, greenish layer which is present upon the pond water, and that is called algae. So next, hay experiment to see protozoans. Hay is nothing but dried grass. So you take the dried grass and you have to perform an activity to observe protozoan. Next, there are some TMV. TMV is nothing but tobacco mosaic virus, or you can take some other examples. So by taking those diseased plant you can observe virus, right? So in this way we have some activities in the textbook. So let us see one after the other. Children, now let us see classification of microorganism. If you see, microorganisms are not one. Microorganisms are not one. They are many. If you take a drop of water, that drop of water contain thousands of microorganisms, different kinds of microorganisms. If you take an example of bacteria, there are thousands of bacteria. As they are microscopic in size, there are millions, some millions in soil. So where do we find these microorganisms? There is no specific place, region for microorganisms, right? So if you take an example of a bacteria, bacteria is found in soil, air, water, even in hot climate, even in very cold climate. Okay, so there is no specific area or region for a microorganism to grow. So you can find microorganisms everywhere, even on your body or inside of your body, inside of a human body also we find some millions of microorganisms which are making some uses and which are causing some diseases also. We will discuss about each and every microorganism in detail. So first let us see a classification of microorganisms. So classification of microorganisms are simply classified into or generally classified into 6 groups, that is bacteria, fungi, protozoan, algae, virus and microarthropods. Actually there are only 5 groups, but whereas this microarthropod is included into microorganism. The reason behind that is microarthropods, as they are tiny in size, these microarthropods are included under microorganism, but actually they are not microorganism, they are small in size, that's it.